After having experienced the vastness of the magnanimity of the universe in the last episode, you have probably begun to consider deep space as the final frontier, as popularized by pop culture. However, the truth is, you don't have to strap yourself in a spaceship to journey to the depths of space and time. The true final frontier is within you, unexplored, infinite, limitless, dynamic, powerful, with an incessant urge to change, morph, and expand, to embark on a voyage of abundance, well-being, and affluence in the physical plane that each one of us is empowered to experience. But only a few of us make the choice, the decision to explore. This final frontier has no shape, no form, yet we feel its presence every moment of our lives, whether we are awake or asleep. This is the human mind, the seat of our consciousness, the center of our intelligence, the power behind our mere existence, the rationality behind why we react the way we react to people, events, and circumstances. It is the mind that receives information from the five senses and forms patterns and stores it in the memory bank for future reference, hence making us humans learn and live by pattern recognition and playback. It is our mind that grants us the luxury of emotions, feelings, thoughts, and empowers us with the power of analysis, the power to choose and decide what we believe in, and what we think about, and what we consciously act upon every moment of our lives. Ponder about this for a second. Every single physical part of your body can potentially be operated on by a surgeon to correct certain malfunctions. Do you agree with that? But have you ever heard of a surgeon operating on the mind? You have not. Why is that? Because the mind does not have a physical shape or form. No scientific gadget is conceivable that can even detect the shape and form of the mind because it has none. It is limitless. It is formless. And yet, it controls every single moment of our physical experience. It controls every aspect of our existence. Researchers have spent hundreds of thousands of hours to figure out where the mind can reside within our physical body, and have come to the conclusion that the most logical location for our mind is to reside in the human brain, the seat of the final frontier of human consciousness. Our brain is composed of 100 billion tiny nerve cells called neurons, comparable to the number of stars in the Milky Way. And between them, there are 100 trillion possible connections across a tiny gap between the neurons called the synapse. Information from one neuron can pass into the other neuron only across the synapse, thereby forming a neural pathway, much like a road that connects two cities together. I say possible connections between the neurons because the pattern in which these connections are established in the brain, or neural pathways, constitutes our intelligence, or the belief system for our consciousness. There are 100 trillion possible interconnections or neural pathways that are possible to be established in your brain. Hence, we humans learn and live by pattern recognition and pattern playback. So what is a pattern? Everything. Everything that your five senses can detect is a pattern. The face of a known person, the car you drive, and the car you do not drive, the taste of the food you eat, the softness of the fabric you touch, the aroma of the gourmet food you love, the fragrance of a rose, the stink of a skunk. The danger of a poisonous snake, the balance that you calculate at the checkout counter in a store, the directions from the gym to your home, the voice of your favorite singer, tunes of your favorite classical music, the rules of the sport that you play are all patterns that have been captured by the neurons in your brain, and by repetition. Let me repeat this. By repetition of those sequences of impulses, neural pathways are formed in your brain to develop your knowledge bank of patterns or your memory. When you are faced with an impulse, whatever it is, your brain immediately begins the search to find a matching pattern in your memory. If it finds a matching pattern, the reaction to that impulse is immediately played back, making you take corresponding action to match that incoming impulse. That action may be physical or emotional, but whatever it is nothing but a playback of the stored pattern. So you act and react to situations based on pattern recognition and playback. You can try, but you cannot provide a single example where you reacted to a situation, event, or circumstance in your life that are not a direct playback of a certain pattern of thoughts, a certain pattern of facts and figures, or relational behavior that is established in your brain. Well, what if you come across a situation for which there is no stored pattern in your memory? A new skill, a new town that you landed up in. What happens then? We humans resort to one of the two basic animal instincts that are stored in the primitive portion of our brain, the reptilian brain. Two instincts: fight or flight. If we are faced with an impulse for which our memory bank has no stored pattern, we will either stand back and fight, or we will run away. None of which may be the appropriate action to take. However, in the event of a missing pattern in our brain to respond to that event, the fight or flight are the default two instincts in which a person could react. So now you understand the basics of human behavior, and how the manner in which one person reacts to a situation can be completely different than how another person would react. And the difference is entirely dependent on what kind of patterns are established in the person's brain. For example, one person will see a trendy sports car, like it, walk into a dealership, pay cash, and drive out in it completely at peace with himself. Another person will see the same car, completely fall in love with it, but instead of walking into the dealership, that person will walk away, because his belief is that he is not worth it. He cannot afford it, and he will stay unfulfilled and miserable forever, because his pattern is all about, I'm not worth it. You see, both are right in the manner in which they have chosen to create their neural pathways, which in turn create their physical reality. Both are deliberate creators in their own right. But the difference is, one creates abundance and fulfillment, while the other creates lack and a miserable existence, trying to fit in with everything that is going on around him. Now you may ask, well, Joy, what do you mean by they have chosen to create? Why would a person choose to be miserable? Everyone wishes to be happy and fulfilled. Yes. But the problem is, everyone wishes to be fulfilled and happy. Wishes are pipe dreams. Those neural pathways have no pattern that relates to those emotions of happiness and fulfillment. They have no belief that they can be happy and fulfilled. It is a wish for the second person. But for the first person, it is a want, a need. He wants to be happy. He needs to be fulfilled. Because his patterns are all about happiness and fulfillment. So both get exactly what they want because their physical reality is congruent with their neural pathways or belief patterns. That is what is called neural programming. And here's the best part. The second person who walked away from the dealership saying he is not worth it, he can't afford it, that person can change his neural pathways if he chooses to and makes a decision to change. What happens internally is the neurons that have that negative pattern will detach themselves from the negative pattern and realign themselves to the more positive pattern that is congruent with the reprogramming performed on the neural pathways. How can you do such reprogramming? Hang around with me, because the Deliberate Creator Project is all about empowering you with the technology to establish new neural pathways in your mind and instill the knowledge to be, do, or have anything you want, leveraging the power of your brain, which is the seat of your infinitely powerful mind. Think about the process as similar to detecting a bug or a virus in a computer software program. That software program runs the computer's hardware, but because of that bug that has installed itself into the program, that program has started to act abnormally. It has become functionally deficient. But if you install an antivirus or write some corrective logical program to remove that offending portion of the code, the software regains its original pristine state. It is completely functional and all systems are a-go. Your mind is a software program. We call it neural programming, and it runs your entire physical body. If you have dreams and you have not achieved them, that dream is that software program that is inherently designed for achievement. But you have blocks in your subconscious mind, and those are the bugs. Liken them to the bugs or the virus that has been installed in your subconscious mind that prevents you from achieving what you want. So what you have to do is install a program in your brain that starts to reprogram your neural pathways, eliminates that virus, and installs the right code in your software, the software of your mind. And once that is installed, your mind will bring to you whatever you want to be, do, or have, without exception. That is law. That is how this universe has been designed. So much for this session, where I describe how the seat of the mind or the brain operates. In the next one, I will take you to the innards of the mind itself, and then everything will snap in place. You will know the what, the why, and the how to all your questions. And therein lies the master key to open the doors of abundance of physical reality that awaits you. I will see you soon in the next episode.